Yeah. Dear Donald, I never wrote you up in calling. Yeah, I voted for you last time, cause I thought that you were honest. Yeah. No, not honest, but maybe less a liar than your bullshit critics. It honestly pains me to have to put your bitch ass on the bitch list. Hello, President of Peace who said he just wanted to see all of the dying. Stop the spying, stop and drain the swamp bigly. You said the deep state would be shaking. We didn't know that that would mean shaking your hand for all you've done and spanking BB's enemies. But done, it seems like things are different than you swore that they would be. It's been a decade since you ran on we should lock up Hillary, and now she's implicated with billing your pedo friend Epstein. And now suddenly you're silent when she skips a court hearing. Man, just be honest, are you bitches all on the same fucking team? Because it's a matter of fact, you are hired for exactly that, to lock up the criminals running the country. Yeah, we had your back the whole damn time. You were at least pretending that you were a victim of all the fake media. Dinosaur hypocrites, feminists raging, the leftist hysteria. Russiagate, piss tape, stolen elections, indictments, and Stormy Daniels' very expensive tits. Yes, they were wrong. Yes, you were right in a lot that you said we believed at the time. But now that you got all the power to tower above all the leeches, you cower to please your donors and demons and marks of the beast. Cause you think they can save you, but now you're on your knees. Donald, you were supposed to be different. We loved you up until you proved you were the same. But with a martyrdom complex, no dissent, the dissidents are getting pissed and you're to blame. Yeah, Donald, we pumped our stupid ass fists and we said fight, fight, fight to another Democrat bitch. I guess that hope is addictive. Hope is addictive. Yeah. I don't mean to be mean, but I got a lot to fit into this, and I wish you wouldn't have brought this on yourself. But the hell, I gotta believe you when you say you don't need my vote. I voted for peace, I voted for reach, end result somewhere in the Middle East. I voted for Russia and Ukraine on day one. I voted for justice for every and each victim of COVID and Epstein. And Joe Biden's threatening Civil War II or World War III. But it seems all we got was another old white female duke in the same damn rings. Betray your base for power and fame, or you might get JFK. Don't lose your head, would be a shame to see the beautiful ballroom splatter painted. Yeah, we know the stakes are high, with some big bold choices to make. And honestly, man, thanks for us. For real, we're proud of you, that's great. But since then, you've been crashing out and cashing in. It's tough to take. You at all serious now? I suppose for me, it all comes down to your friend Epstein.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
Like, how am I supposed to pretend Elon didn't already call your bitch ass out on this? Like, fuck yes, we're still talking about your fucking pedo pizza ring. Every fucking politician in our fucking country seem to be all implicated in, like we're just all supposed to think it's normal for our government to sometimes diddle little kids. And bro, no, don't pretend you know what Bohemian Grove is. The faggiest pace, Nixon to ever been. You pretend you're one of us, but you one with them above the law like Joe Biden. You said you'd lock him up for robot pens. You said Obama was a traitor and then nothing happened to him. You say you'll make our country great someday. You'll lock up all the sinners. You had more wars in this year than all your failed marriages. But bro, don't worry about the evangelicals. They're so buying in, cause dispensationalism already convinced them that Jesus Christ is a Republican and Trump is a Christian.
If America pulls the plug on Israel, God will pull the plug on us.
How are we to act like it ain't obvious? Why suddenly it seems you're best friends with Lindsey Graham, Jeb Bush, Mike Pence, and Hillary. And all your haters done you feeling okay. And also your base doesn't seem to like when you flip on them, then flip them off, then send their sons to die for foreign aid. I gotta hand it to you, man, you played the perfect patsy puppet to convince me after everything there might be someone coming. But you're just another bitch boy bastard, Sayamar, complex, retarded, complicit, Zionistic neocon with tiny hands and even smaller fists, insisting that we take him serious as he flips and fits while stealing Venezuelan presidents and planning for Iran and Greenland exits all for BB's benefit, while Americans wait patiently for America to be great again. It's nice of you to finally put someone over yourself. We wish it could be we the people, but it's clearly Israel. I hope you get a medic before you let it get so pathetic that you just hand it to the Dems. But fuck it, if you can find a way to not just bend over and take it down. I honestly don't give a fuck who wins when you're the fucking same. Afraid you'll be impeached a third time, bitch. You finally deserve it. I wish it wasn't so, but I haven't even mentioned how you turn on Thomas, Massie, Rand Paul, and then Marjorie Taylor Greene. It seems that anyone who still agrees with the message of your own campaign are now the army and fight this Susan.
I want everybody to stop dying.
Even you should hate you now. Do what you're told. burn the whole world down. You back in 2016 will be your enemy. You back in 2023 will be your enemy too. Do the down we voted for, we hate your fucking guts. So pardon me for carving this golden calf up. I never bow to New York Democrat on Epstein's account with the words of an infant in a tantrum to tow. Who grooves like an idiot and the murders all the innocent. So what's a motherfucker even do with the truth now? Guess I'll let it out till the outlaws that too. Any minute now. You were supposed to be different. We loved you up until you proved you were the same. The dumb complex, no dissent. The dissidents are getting pissed and you're to blame. Yeah. We pumped the stupid ass fists and we said fight to another Democrat bitch. I guess that hope is addictive and I hope no, never fall for this again. Hope you'll never fall for this again. Hope you know we'll never fall for this again. Hope you know we'll never vote for this again.
If I had a nickel for every time I got confused, I'd be like, where'd this nickel come from? And then there'd be another nickel, and I'd think, what's with the nickels? Leading to more nickels and confusion. And eventually, I'd be slowly crushed by nickels, without ever knowing why.
This is a Dissident Media production. DissidentMedia.net.
In a world where everything sucks, two men have the balls to laugh at it. This is The System is Down.
Hey, we're back. And there's nothing new. Well, a couple things. There's a couple things new. We're going to talk about those couple things and all the other things right now. Let's go.
You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. I am going to first and foremost apologize to the people I keep forgetting to put on this list before I play it. I know that you're out there, and I'm sorry. I keep forgetting. Anyway, today's episode is brought to you by Bud Garrett, Pale Moonlight, Aaron Johnson, Michael McIntyre, James Strickland, William Ogle, Sir Tur, Nathan Gall, Keenover, Gilda Kate, John, Bob, Drugs, Autumn, Sean, CDs, Zachary, Evergett, Maxwell, Kim Yuppie, Noah, JC, Justico, Silas, Joey, Penord, Adam, Donald, Matt, Danielle, Sean, Luke, Javari, Ryan, Derek, Tim, Howie, Nathan, Brian, Mary, Justin, John. If you want to get your name on that list and have it read incorrect someday, go on over to patreon.com/The System is Down. You'll get ad-free versions of the show. You'll get bonus episodes whenever we feel like it, and you'll be supporting this, and not just this, but everything that I've got going on right now, which is a lot outside of this. So go support us there at patreon.com/The System is Down. Now, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute since we've done any of these. I think the last one was just me. It's been even longer since I've had the late, great Dave Casey join us. Dave! How's it going, Dave?
It's going great, my bro. How are you? Where's that confetti at, bro?
There you go. There you go. Dave, everybody. He has one rule, and one rule alone. The confetti must be there. Like, it's his one thing on his rider that he doesn't get paid or anything, but he's like, confetti or I'm not showing up. That's it.
That's as good as money, sir. You just keep that confetti coming, and we'll be just fine.
I don't think that should be a problem, as long as I, can find the button. Dave, it's been a while. How have you been?
I'm great, man. Not as great as you, though. I see you making big moves, my dude.
Am I doing things, Dave?
Tell
me what I'm doing. What am I up
From
to these
where
days?
I'm at. Yo, it looks like you and Thomas Massie are the new Batman and Robin. Skirt! I've seen that fucking band video. Well, you gotta, if you're not playing that on the show, you really shit the bed. But
yeah, that's probably a good idea. I wasn't.
I mean,
I
load that
should.
fucking bad boy up right now in your spare time. That got me pumped up, which was not as big as the other video, which is gonna be for the even bigger Money Bomb on the 30th, which you are heavily involved with, and everyone's excited about. Anyone from the Ron Paul school knows what that is. It's fucking, time to toss in a few ducats for the dudes who do the damn thing. So
absolutely
proud of you. Very proud of you.
I will find that video before we get to the section where we're going to talk about the Massie Money Mob stuff, but we will talk about all of that very soon. I did want to mention, it's been a couple weeks since you and I have done anything. I think it's been 3 weeks since you and I have. It's been 2 weeks since I have. I think I skipped last week entirely, and the week before I just did solo. And that solo episode, did you listen to it, Dave? I know you didn't, but I just want to make you feel bad.
Of course I did, bro. On repeat, fucking half speed.
That's where I got all 12 of the plays. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I did a solo episode because I had just put it off for long enough that I was like, I got to talk about some of these things. It was right around when I think the title of the episode was, Is BB Dead? So it was when that was all going around. And I was like, I got to get caught up on some of this stuff. And then I went through everything. And I spent 2 hours on my own going through. I mean, there was some, is BB dead, isn't he dead? But most of it was just, like, most of the entirety of the 2 hours was like, Donald Trump's administration said this, and then they said this, which completely is the opposite of that. And then the next thing. And then they said this, which is the opposite of that, and that this is which is the opposite of that. I spent so long doing that I think it broke my brain, and now I'm to the point where I'm like, I don't give a fuck even about talking about Donald Trump for the most part at this point, unless you're like, ending the war or releasing the Epstein files or rolling out the impeachments. I don't give a shit about anything else you have to say at this point. So it's like, especially while I'm working on stuff with Thomas Massie and whatnot, it's like, do I stop that so that I can come over here and bitch about how Donald Trump's still a retard? Breaking news, you guys. Donald Trump is still retarded. We all thought he wasn't for a hot minute there. Turns out he is, and he still is. Every single week, he gets dumber and dumber. So I feel like until there's something further to say on that matter, I don't have much else to say other than just, raising my blood pressure, calling out the obvious lies and hypocrisy in the Donald Trump administration. Not that we're not going to. Obviously, it'll still come up, but I'm not going to spend 2 hours here just nitpicking or not nitpicking, but like pointing out the obvious back and forths because there's too many. And there's I was going through my bookmarks tab today on what I've saved over the last week and a half, and it's like, oh, they lied there, lied. And it's not even good lies. So why even address it? We all know, and if you don't know, you're lying or you're retarded and hopeless, and you haven't found this show yet. But what do you think, Dave? What have you seen over the last couple weeks? Am I off base here? Are we missing something major?
Bro, this is all news to me. You just buried the lead. Please tell me. I've been gone a couple weeks. Did BB call it one or?
I still don't even know on that. I mean, they put out some clearly AI videos, it seems, to prove that he was alive. I think there have been videos come out since then. I don't know. I would imagine it would be all over the news by this point if it wasn't proven otherwise, because that story just kind of fell off. Even something like that just comes and goes. Now we're raging about something else. And there were 2 AI videos that were obviously AI, but that doesn't mean he's dead. That could mean he's hiding in a bunker in a completely different country and filming in front of green screens, and they're doing what they can to be like, no, we still have a leader here. He's not a coward.
That's probably the most likely thing. That's what I was thinking during that. It's crazy that we haven't talked about this.
Yeah.
Because that is so bizarre, no matter what the outcome, like what a time that we're living in. But I think that you're on with, like, if they present it one way, it's probably the opposite. So right now I would assume that, they're keeping him safe deep down 5,000 feet in a bunker, and he's just fine, and they're making these videos just trolling people and whatever else while they continue their murder campaign.
Absolutely. And not only is Trump, as I talked about like a week and a half ago, not only is Trump like on CNN's side and Hillary Clinton's side and Lindsey Graham's side and every never Trumper side, so like who gives a shit, we're just talking about a Democrat here, but here is the latest where Trump is now convinced, because of CNN's polling, Trump is convinced that he is polling at 100%.
That MAGA is essentially unified behind you, as are Republicans when it comes to Iran. There's been reports that the United States might be sending 2,500 Marines to the Middle East. Are you concerned that a move like that could potentially change the unity?
Well, I don't know. I seem to have great support because CNN came out with a poll today that I'm at 100%. And they said they've never seen a poll like that. The CNN poll said about 100%. And
CNN, which is real news, by the way.
Very not fake news, CNN.
Would do that. But as far as troops are concerned, I can't tell you what we're doing. Mr. President.
As far as anything that's going on, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I do know that the people that I said are smear merchants who are all fake news and they shouldn't have their jobs. They're on my side now. It's great guys. Really surprised, but they said, wouldn't you know? CNN said 100%. It's wow. I mean, that almost sounds like a setup to me, but I mean, it's clear what's happening here. CNN's anchors are saying. Where they pulled a bunch of MAGA folks, and all the MAGA folks, 100%, in fact, said they support the war. And they also said everybody who doesn't support the war is not with us. They're not MAGA. So they polled a bunch of people where the litmus test now, if you're MAGA, whatever the fuck that means, if you're Make America Great Again, it's that you're supporting Israel's war with Iran. If you don't support that, you're not MAGA. So we polled everybody everybody who supports Israel's war with Iran. We pulled all of them, and it turns out every single one of them said Trump is doing great in this war with Iran. Like, yeah, you found all the dummies who are still on board with this bullshit. It's incredible. And Donald Trump hears that, and he's like, oh, wow, I am great. Aren't I great?
Yeah.
And I don't remember if it was the last episode with you or the last episode that I did solo, but I was like, I mean, do you think it's possible that Trump actually believes the things that he's saying, and he just has so many sycophants around him and CNN now, and everybody's like, you're doing great, Mr. President, please keep going to war, and he's like, everybody said I'm doing great, the polls are literally 100%. Do you think he's just dumb enough that he believes CNN's polls, that he's got 100% of his base on board with him?
I think that there's no way he could resist citing a 100% poll.
Right.
So they forced his hand and he took it because that's the best. You can't pull any better than that. That's, that's just, they fucking jujitsu'd the shit out of that.
They did.
Well done, CNN. Either that or CNN is just constant state sponsored media that kind of coalesces around the power source.
Great segue, Dave, into this next clip here. Speaking of state-sponsored media, it turns out it might not just be CNN. Here's, I don't know, all of them?
This is a short-term disruption for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain be for long-term gain.
We're going to have some short-term pain with long-term gain.
Short-term pay for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain, yes, but we've got some long-term gain. Short-term spike for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain for American consumers. We may have to deal with that in the short term.
Short-term and temporary.
Temporary, short-term pain.
It's going to suck in the short term.
Some short-term pain.
Short-term pain. We have to focus on the short term.
Short-term.
Short-term. Short-term. Short-term and long-term.
Short-term.
Hopefully this is a short-term pain. Short-term is highly outweighed of the long-term benefit.
Some short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain.
This is
it's almost like they're preparing us for something. After this was supposed to be over in a day, 2 days, a week, only weeks, 4 weeks, I don't know, but now it's, hey, look, this might hurt a little bit, but literally everybody is saying, every single person who got the script is saying, this is going to hurt. But it's for a long-term gain. What is the long-term gain? I still don't even know what the long-term gain is, but it sounds like there's going to be long-term pain. That's just my crazy conspiracy theory prediction. And I know that makes me a terrorist sympathizer at this point, or an anti-Semitic Nazi or something, but I think it's going to last longer unless Donald Trump says, hey, fuck you, and probably gets capped by Benjamin Netanyahu. What do you think, Dave?
Bro, there's no short-term pain. There's only continuous, ever advancing, ever encroaching, ever growing pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's all just a bullshit. The reason I can at least, I've seen this shit before. Other people have. This is very reminiscent of the lead up to the Iraq War and everything that came out of that. And everything is just, a limited skirmish. It's just this little thing. It's this little thing. We just got to take care of this little thing. Just be patient while we do this little thing. Right. Over, and then, 30 years later, you're still in this like thing that's just going to take just a little bit of your patience.
Any day now, we'll be done.
Oof. Yeah.
I mean, Afghanistan. Trump didn't get us out of that. Biden did, unfortunately. And, that was short-term pain for long-term gain, and we ended up with the Taliban running Afghanistan. Good job, everyone. We did it. I'm sure this will go much better since, we killed the Ayatollah and immediately his son took the position. I'm sure he'll be very sympathetic to us and Israel's woes. But I digress. All of this is to mostly talk about the podcasting stuff, because I'm thinking that we probably won't do super regular. I don't know, depending on what happens in the news. If something happens in the news that gets me out of bed and makes me go, that's something worth talking about, I'll do it. But if not, I'm going to keep doing stuff like making videos for Thomas Massie and whatnot, because what is there left to say to the Trump administration? Clearly they're lying. Clearly they're bought and sold and paid for by Israel, and Trump's going to do whatever he's told. So until that stops, what is there really to say? And it's funny that I've seen a lot of people be like, oh, this is supposed to be like podcasters' wet dream because Trump's screwing up. I'm like, no, I want to come on here and talk about how great Trump's doing. Like, you go back 6 months ago, that's what we were all about. Like, we want the country to do well. That would be awesome if we didn't have a dumb shit president in the White House for once in my lifetime, at least. And here we are. So, like, what is there left to say to these people? Because the people who are still on board, clearly their minds cannot be changed. And the people who are not on board, they see what's happening. And anybody who is even a little bit honest can see what's happening. Donald Trump is a puppet at best and a complete retarded puppet at slightly worse. But either way, he's a puppet. I've also noticed that like, if you go back to like the beginning of this podcast, I didn't know what I was doing, and I asked some people for advice. I even paid some people for advice. A lot of those people are gone now, and a lot of those people have sold out now or don't exist in the podcast world at all. So it's just something I've been pondering of, like, all the people who knew how to do this the right way, so much so that they were selling courses on how to do this the right way. They didn't know how to do this the right way. I still haven't monetized my YouTube channel. I know that's wrong. I've tried many times. I'm not allowed to monetize my YouTube channel, but I've never made $1 off this. And because of that, I have not been, scrambling every time YouTube changes their algorithm to figure out how I'm going to make my next dollar. It seems like a lot of people did that. And now there's a lot of people who are freaking out because there's also the YouTube AI bullshit that's coming up. Like, people are going, I don't want to tell you how to do this, but people are going into podcast content, copying scripts that YouTube auto-generates, copying their scripts, running it through AI, saying, say this better, then running that through AI and having it speak it, and then they're running that through AI, making a video out of it, and that's their content. They just completely ripped it off paid a couple bucks within a couple 15 minutes or so, and they've stolen all of your content. So the podcasters never knew. There were never adults that knew exactly how this goes, especially with the advance of technology. Nobody had a clue where this was going, and we still don't. So the way I see it is, however I can be the most valuable into propagandizing people, if you will, or putting truth into the world, or getting people to think that's what I want to do with my time. And it'll sometimes be the podcast, and it'll sometimes be Thomas Massie shit or whatever else comes up. But yeah, I would rather spend my time propping up good people doing good things than even trying to be like the next Dave Smith, because I'm not going to be. We've got one of those anyway. We've got several of those. Clint Russell, we've got lots of good Dave Smiths out there. But yeah, what's the point of me coming on and saying the same thing? And the same thing is, hey, Trump was retarded again this week. Any thoughts, Dave?
Well, that's pretty open-ended. You sounded like you were about to dump me.
No. I'll still do it whenever I feel like doing it, and you're obviously always welcome whenever you feel like doing it too. I just don't see a need in forcing anything.
I have said this on this show and to you privately. What you're doing right now is very important and very special. More than a podcast. Anybody's podcast. This is bigger. What you're doing with Massie right now is bigger than, other than Dave Smith. Like, dude, somebody needs to be doing that shit.
Sure.
For our dudes. And that's you, man. Like, peep the repertoire,
Yeah.
Go to dissidentmedia.com. Check out some of this work, by the way, where it's loaded up there, and I'm sure you can find more where on probably this site. The system is down.tv, all the things. My point being, bro, yes, this is very fun. Let's do it when we can, but that should absolutely take precedence in your life.
Sure.
Not only because, I mean, yeah, like I hope that you can get paid, son, where podcasters make podcast dollars doing that shit.
Sure.
But also because it's very important work. That's like uniquely suited,
It's a strange lane I've carved out here. There's not a whole lot of people in the Liberty propaganda department, it seems, and not that we need more. I would like more competition. Please, other people make things that are worth watching and change people's minds. But another thing that I've been pondering and I've been noticing a lot in the podcast world is that everybody fucking hates each other behind the scenes. Have you noticed this lately? Like every time something comes up, everybody's so quick to throw everybody under the bus in the podcast world. It's like, I don't know. Everybody's like best friends and they're going back and forth on, you come on my show, I'll come on your show. I don't want to name names because I don't really care to start that drama. But I've noticed a whole lot of people, as soon as like the political landscape changes just a little bit, that person's the enemy, and I never liked him and whatnot. It's just like, I don't see the point in really even most people pursuing a career of podcasting at this point, because there's not a whole lot of money to be made on it. Absolutely go put truth into the world, and if that's the best way you can see to do so, then do so. But don't expect to make money off of it. Otherwise, you'll end up like these people who are throwing their friends under the bus because they know that their paycheck comes from over here and somebody else's paycheck comes from over here. Well, if they were honest about actually where their money was coming from, they would be a little bit more consistent in their views, and they wouldn't have to be attacking, stabbing other podcasters in the back. But that's just something I've been noticing that doesn't make me want to pursue this super great podcast career. I just want to have fun and talk to my friends about the dumb shit that's going on in the world. If anybody wants to listen to it or support it, great.
No matter what you do with the podcast, to not do it for the clicks is so much healthier. Dude, imagine it just frees you up. Imagine if you had to live off clicks.
Yeah.
There's no stability in that.
I would have titled this episode, "This Might Be My Last Podcast." And then I would have showed up crying like everybody else does and been like, nobody cares enough for me to make money off of my YouTube channel. I've never done that. I'm never going to do that because I've never made money off my YouTube channel. I just have some things to say.
Right. And you'll probably do better work not having to work for clicks and just talk about your projects and talk about things that interest you when you want to talk about them.
Yeah.
I would, try and remain semi-regular, but you always are, whatever.
I can't stay gone for too long now.
Right. But if you want to keep it at all, but
yeah,
absolutely, man. What you're doing right now is a huge, you have more important shit to do.
Yes, and speaking of which, let's move on. We've gushed enough about me in this show, but just wanted to give, some people have been ride or die with this show for many, many years. I think we're not far off from a decade at this point, and I'll still be around. I'm not going anywhere by choice, and you'll see me behind the scenes in the Libertarian Illuminati stuff that I'm doing over there, but. Let's transition into the real man of the hour, which is Thomas Massie. I found it. This is one of my latest gems that I made in about an hour.
Here we go.
What am I supposed to do? You didn't already call your bitch ass out on this fuck yes, we're still talking about your fucking pedal piece of ring. Every fucking politician in our fucking country seem to be all implicated in we're just all supposed to think it's normal for our government to sometimes diddle little kids. And bro, no, don't pretend you know what Bohemian Grove is. The baggiest pace next to the ever being you. Pretend you.
That's that one.
Incredible. Incredible.
Yeah. Even when I started doing video stuff, I started on the Vermin Supreme campaign because I just wanted to make weird shit, and it not necessarily always authorized weird shit. And I've just kind of hopped from person to person, whoever would allow me to make weird shit for them. That said, that was not a campaign release in any way whatsoever. Thomas Massie did not approve. I did not ask Thomas Massie even if I could put out a video with Donald Trump is a bitch as the soundtrack to him and me riding through an apocalyptic wasteland in a van, a Ron Paul Revolution van. But, I digress. There was one other AI one, but I do want to play the main one, the big one. This is the official video that was released for the Massie campaign, announcing the money bomb that is coming up next Monday, this coming Monday. So if you don't remember anything from this, remember, MassieMoneyBomb.com, March 30th. That's Monday. Here's that.
On the receiving end of some vicious stuff. That, of course, is Thomas Massie.
The rift between Congressman Thomas Massie and President Trump is getting much more serious.
The president's really mad at Thomas Massie right now,
Yes.
but Thomas Massie is not bought and paid for.
Thomas Massie can't be bought, just like Ron Paul couldn't be bought.
I sometimes call him the Ron Paul of Congress.
We call him Rand Paul Jr.
What he represents is an independent voice within the Republican Party who believes in balanced budgets, low taxes, and less foreign war.
We were tired of endless wars in the Middle East and tired of wars in Eastern Europe.
There's a big deal of overlap with President Trump on that.
All of the things that MAGA explicitly voted for.
Do I prefer a neoconservative pro-war Republican over Massie? Hell no, I don't.
He is actually representing a lot of the people in the MAGA base who are saying, we don't want this war.
He's a bit of a rogue guy.
Since Ron Paul left Congress, I've been saying publicly that Thomas Massie is the best congressman in the country.
This moron, we got to get rid of this loser.
If you attack me, I'm probably going to dig in. I'm not bullied.
He's honest and he's tough, fighting against the cover-up of the Epstein files. That's what Thomas Massie's doing, and Trump calls him a loser for it.
The guy is a national hero at this point.
They're treating him like he's treasonous.
They love voting now. They think it's good politically. The guy's polling at about 9%.
No, you're talking about someone that is beloved in Kentucky.
He's certainly been successful here in the district.
His no-nonsense libertarian flair has made him a Kentucky fan favorite since 2012.
This is how we really truly drain the swamp.
I'm with Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna. Let's go, baby.
This might be one of these last stages where all of a sudden truth breaks out.
Ron Paul raised big bucks and some major eyebrows with a very successful one-day internet fundraising drive. It's amazing.
It's being called a money bomb.
That's what his supporters call it, his money bomb.
It's a one-day record for internet donations. Paul lags in the polls, but he has inspired a devoted following.
It was astounding, and it astounded the media and gave us a lot of credibility.
And who are his supporters? Well, they're Republicans, they're Democrats, they're independents, they're young people, old people, anybody who is disenchanted with the candidates now in the lead.
I don't hold grudges against anybody.
You could say I disagree with Thomas Massie, but if you think Thomas Massie is the problem,
You are the problem.
I couldn't agree more.
He's fighting back, and he has some arguments that are pretty strong.
I think I'm going to donate money to Massie's campaign.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far.
Why?
It would be a tragedy if they get away with lying through their teeth about Thomas Massie.
It's very necessary that these money bombs be successful.
There's that. Now, I'll give a little behind the scenes, not much, but a little behind the scenes. I'll give a lot of behind the scenes. But on that in particular, that video came from me and Thomas Massie were talking on the phone. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Me and Thomas Massie were talking on the phone, and we were talking. He said, "I would like a video for this money bomb thing," and I was like, "I got you." And they were like, him and his campaign manager were both on the line. I say they. They were like, we want it to lean a little bit into the Ron Paul money bomb nostalgia that everybody that's in our sphere is familiar with. Probably our sphere, we have more of a sphere around us that understands that, I feel like, than even like all the Kentuckians that are voting for Thomas Massie. But yeah, he said, just work in a little bit of Ron Paul. And I'm like, I got you. And so Ron Paul. He I didn't ask if I should or could put in the Ron Paul Revolution logo directly on the end. I just did it, and then nobody said anything, so it happened. But that's more of the stuff I want to spend my time doing. And even on the Ron or the Thomas Massie situation, I'm thankful for this show. The show has been my promotion. It's been my platform really to even go on Twitter and be like, I'm a guy who's worth listening to. I trolled Thomas Massie just like I did Dave Smith and trolled him into giving me his phone number. And now I'm working with Thomas Massie's campaign and doing more stuff outside of Thomas Massie's campaign for it, because it makes sense. It makes more sense than, even if the podcast is, free advertising for that stuff is now getting way more attention than the podcast ever did. So, who's promoting who at this point? You guys, probably, if there's any new people here, you're probably here because you saw that and then you came over here rather than vice versa. So, whatever. We are doing a lot of stuff, and I will be doing some further stuff that will be announced within probably about a week. I would say we can probably just go ahead and say, I think next Wednesday we've got an announcement for a next Massie thing following the money bomb. So be on the lookout for that. But Thomas Massie's worth supporting for free or for charge. And here's why. Here's the latest from Thomas Massie.
I'm not satisfied until the survivors are satisfied. That's my benchmark. And obviously, in my floor speech here in the House of Representatives, I said men need to be perp walked in handcuffs to the jail. And until we see that here in this country, we've seen some of that in other countries, but until we see that here in this country, we don't have a system of justice that's working.
Are you confident you will see that?
I don't know if we're going to see it in this administration.
Why do you say that?
Because Pam Bondi has, she's been so against this. I would say from the beginning, but in the beginning, I think she earnestly was ready to release files, and then I think she wasn't in on the joke when they gave her those binders that had nothing in it. Then she found out she looked like a joke, and she shot off the angry letter to the FBI. But at some point, somebody got to Pam Bondi and said, it's your job to cover this up. I'm not satisfied.
All right. So that's recent. So even that was put out by BBC Newsnight 23 hours ago. So I guess that interview probably happened yesterday. Yeah, that's what he's talking about now. While everybody else is like, oh, Donald Trump is still at war and war. Yes, that should be opposed too. But we all know that was a distraction from this thing that Thomas Massie is still talking about and not letting up on, the Epstein files. Both bad. Both impeachable offenses. Both impeachable offenses at best, if you're being moderate. But good on Thomas Massie for doing that and staying the course, because I'm going to keep bringing it back to me because I've been thinking a lot this last week. But I missed, for the most part, the Ron Paul Revolution, Dave. I know you didn't, but I missed the vast majority of it. I look back and I have Ron Paul 2012 stickers, and I remember having one on my laptop. I found more of them recently in some storage. So I knew to some degree who this guy was, but I didn't even know what a libertarian was at the time. I just knew that this guy was on the party ticket that I'm supposed to, as a good conservative Christian boy, I'm supposed to vote for the Republican ticket. And this guy is making some sense, probably on war. And now we've got Thomas Massie here, who is just not really come out of nowhere, but it's been building over time to this point where he is the main guy, if not the one guy, one of very few guys who is calling out the Epstein stuff still and standing up to Donald Trump. So I'm just like, man, if I had the opportunity to go back and hop on the Ron Paul Revolution 2.0 or even 3.0, if the 2.0 candidate happens to drop off because of, never mind, we'll get to Dave Smith later. But if there's a Ron Paul Revolution 3.0 wave at all, I want to be a part of that. And now we've got Thomas Massie. I felt that way when I was making the first 15-minute thing where I'm just talking about COVID stuff and gun stuff. It was before Epstein and war and all these very flagrantly obvious sellouts that Donald Trump's doing. So there's so much there to dig into. And I want to be a part of it. And I think that people need to start realizing now what this is. This is Ron Paul Revolution. If Thomas Massie doesn't bow out at some point or get taken out, this is the best option that we have currently, and he's doing more. He's getting more accomplished. I love Ron Paul, but he's getting more accomplished than Ron Paul did as far as exposing evil corruption in the government. Like, obviously, Ron Paul had a much bigger uphill battle because he didn't have the internet pointing out all these things and everybody being able to see, the wars and genocide in real time. But Thomas Massie has that, and he's not only not stepping down from it, he's not even rattled by Miriam Adelson's like millions of dollars that are spent to try and attack him, or Donald Trump coming to campaign against him in his own state. He's just like, yeah, Trump's here. All right. I'm glad he came to support our state. That's real nice. Like, he's still just the kindest Kentucky gentleman, most humble guy who is just doing the fucking work that literally nobody else is doing. Any thoughts, Dave?
Yeah, a couple, man. That sucks you weren't there for the original part of the revolution there, but you're really doing some serious catch-up work. So cheers again on that. But let me just say, man, like, it is really, if you were there for that and you're seeing what's going on right now, it really is something that only you understand fully. Like, to witness all of the like beautiful things that came out of the Ron Paul revolution, like Thomas Massie and Dave Smith. Like, let me put it to you like this, dude. The reason that Dave Smith can go on Piers Morgan and destroy everybody in his path when it comes to foreign policy or economics, for that matter, or whatever, is because of Ron Paul.
Yeah.
And the reason that Thomas Massie, and let me not take anything away from these guys either. You have to have the intellect, the bravery, right? And the ability, like it takes a lot. But like, he definitely planted the seeds for these guys to be able to go out and do this. Like, it's all the fruits of that era. And it's awesome to watch, man. Like, you know, it was only a couple years ago, Dave Smith, I know we'll get to him, but Dave Smith was debating fucking nerds to like 15 people in a chat. You know, like, he's come a long way, and now he's like really sharpened his sword, and he's fucking destroying real people out there that need to be, you know, it's all because of the Ron Paul revolution, because we're from that school. So it's so cool to see, bro. And Massie is absolutely the inheritor of that. I don't think there's any question of that at this point.
If you recall, I made the same video for Dave Smith, basically just mashing him up with Ron Paul, and then he became a coward, as we all know he is. But, you know, he's doing some things right. We'll talk about them in just a minute. But if you're a part of Patrick Bet David's organization and you find yourself in harm's way today, perhaps you should contact our sponsor, Lone Star Injury Attorneys. We'll be right back.
The great William Shakespeare once said, "First thing we do, let's kill all the lawyers." That's right. It is common knowledge that literally no one in the known universe actually likes lawyers. That is, until they're saving your ass. Max the Axe at Lone Star Injury Attorneys is a professional ass saver. A rare breed, though he be a lawyer, he is indeed a principled libertarian, a defender of the injured and downtrodden, a supportive, faithful Downers Club member, my personal favorite, and a shockingly kind and hospitable fellow at an award-winning personal injury law firm. So if you've been injured on the job in an automobile accident or some other form of cattywampus beyond your personal control, visit LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com or just Google Max the Axe for maximum results. Consultations are free and you don't pay a single dime unless you win. Go with the pros at LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com and get your ass covered.
And we are back. And we are going to now talk about that thing that you guys clicked on that you've probably been waiting patiently for us to stop yammering on about ourselves and woe is me nostalgia. But Dave Smith, his opponent is probably more wanting to go back a couple years than I am. But Dave Smith, whose opponent is Adam, what's his last name?
Couldn't tell you, bro.
Sosnick, I think. I didn't know till I looked it up today, and I watched the whole debate last night. What's funny is, and I texted you this earlier. I was laying in bed, or not laying in bed. I was falling asleep in my chair that I usually work in. Actually, I was falling asleep, and I was probably at least 75% asleep, and it got to one of the clips that we're going to get to here in a bit, and the clip came on, or that part came on, and I woke up from a almost dead sleep because I'm like, no fucking way, he did not just say that. I'm clipping that shit right now, and now it's got like 700,000 views. But whatever. Let's start with the beginning, because the beginning of this starts out with this all started really with Ben Shapiro, or Dave Smith was on Piers Morgan's show like a month ago, and he said something about, well, they'll play the clip, but comparing or saying that the United States is the greatest terrorist organization of all time or something like that. They'll play it here. But Ben Shapiro got all butthurt about that, and he said, well, you're not an American, and it was just a big deal for some reason that Dave Smith said such an obvious thing. And here's the setup to that, and just a few minutes of the beginning of this debate.
It doesn't matter, it turns out, how many times you appear on Joe Rogan's show or how many times you hide behind your title of comedian who holds the Guinness Book of World Records for fewest jokes told, or how many times you spew puerile analogies that demonstrate nothing but unbelievable, willful ignorance of the nature of war. I'm sorry, but you hate the country if you say America is the worst terrorist organization in the world. You just do. Now, I know that Dave Smith is super duper excited that his name was mentioned here, and he's sitting there shouting at his TV screen in his basement, "Debate me, bro!" To which I answer, nah. I don't debate with trolls who claim that America is the biggest terrorist state in the world, because that is idiotic.
So, Dave, as you know, that all blew up. A lot of debate raged about it. Clarify what you meant. Do you regret phrasing it the way you did? Just give us a bit more meat on the bone.
No, I don't regret phrasing it the way I did, and I'll be very clear about what I'm saying. I will point out that it's quite something for Ben Shapiro. Just since you played him, I got to respond to him first. Course. That he goes, "Oh, I just won't debate with this guy because this is so beyond the pale." Ben Shapiro made his name debating 19-year-old communist Maoists who were confused about their gender. So somehow, Piers, we're going to have to believe here that I'm so much less serious than the children who Ben Shapiro made a career debating. I loved your response to him where you pointed out some of the goofy segments that he does on his show. I mean, personally, I really stay away from that stuff. And, for Adam, I think to say it's clickbait or that I just want to get out in front of the camera, I think we're all equally in front of a camera right now. And it's kind of weird to accuse someone else. I very much believe the things I'm saying.
Dave. All right, now before we get into the real star of the show, because believe it or not, the real star of the show is not Dave in this. I don't think that Dave needed to show up to this debate. I feel like Dave could have stayed home or stayed in bed and just put up a cardboard cutout of Dave Smith, and this guy would have easily handed this debate to Dave Smith regardless of Dave's presence. But any thoughts so far, Dave? And then we'll get into the real star here, Adam, whatever the fuck his last name is.
No, just that, I mean, obviously, you know how I feel about Ben Shapiro and what a piece of shit. And this means that Dave is so far over the target that, he's on Piers and Piers is playing a clip of him talking about him. Like, okay, come on. It's too great. But these guys don't understand. Like, he is a comedian. And whether you like his jokes or you don't think he tells enough jokes, he's been on so many more microphones than you, in front of more hostile crowds than you'll ever see in your whole sheltered fucking life. So
and
he can go on TV.
If you're judging him based on these hostile debates, did he not crack enough wise? And did he not tell enough jokes in his debates about genocide in the Middle East? I'm sorry. Maybe he saves that for a different platform, like his comedy stuff. Just a guess.
Yeah, I mean, he's too good of an entertainer to there's no wasted breath. He's like fully focused. He's like a freestyle rapper. Like these guys are like, I mean, Ben Shapiro's
he
good
knows
at
too
just
much. Like comedians are quick-witted, and now he knows too much about this one thing, and he's not going to let up. So
everybody thank Ron Paul.
Amen. Let's get to Adam, whatever the fuck, and see what he has to say about this.
Adam's point.
Dave, don't run from the comment. Don't run from your comment.
I'm trying to get to it.
Address the comment, not Ben Shapiro, would you? Good. Let's go. Wrap it up.
No, I'm going to make the points I want to make.
You called the United States military.
You're just slowing. Okay, so
you called the United States military the greatest terror organization in the world.
Adam, just let me answer. No problem. I'm going to go back to the order I was going to go in. To Adam's point, when
Go
Adam
for it.
says
Who's
I'm
stopping
a
you?
radical libertarian, and I say that this is true Americanism. I mean, look, my favorite founding father is Thomas Paine. Not everyone considers him a founding father, and maybe I love him so much because he never held a government position and didn't own slaves, which I thought was pretty cool. But Benjamin Franklin said he was the most consequentialist and the one person most responsible for the United States of America existing. His famous pamphlet that he wrote was called Common Sense, and I think on the first or second line of it, he says, government is at best a necessary evil. So at best, he's like, this is clearly on the anarchist to night watchman state spectrum was what true Americanism was when it started. Now, for me to say what I made the point, and I've made this point a million times on your show, Pierce, I was saying when people come on and say Iran is the biggest state sponsor of terrorism, well, just like give me an objective definition of what terrorism means, and then let's apply that standard universally. And if you're going to sit here and say, look, America has given billions, tens of billions of dollars to the IDF in the last few years. We've also, by the way, given a lot of weapons and money here. Your first guest on this show there, the head of the Obama deep state, was using Al-Qaeda, bin Ladenite head choppers on the ground in Libya and in Syria. And yes, Adam, I would also consider it when our politicians lie us into wars that slaughter millions of innocent people and in many cases target those innocent people. I consider that terrorism as well. There's the answer, Adam. And if you want to keep doing this, buddy, you could tell me to check the scoreboard. I'll run circles around you on this, dude. Check the scoreboard. Most unpopular war in American history going in. Check the scoreboard. 13 dead Americans and 150 plus other wounded. Thousands of innocents, including little schoolgirls in Iran, killed. Dead innocent Israelis. Hundreds of dead innocent people in Lebanon. Millions of innocent people being displaced, all at the cost of tens of billions of dollars and destroying Trump's coalition. Check your scoreboard, Adam. How's it looking for you?
Okay,
You gotta be able to pume.
All right. So thought we'd go ahead and get Dave's argument in there because this entire debate really is just based around that. Dave said, like, all this guy brings is Dave said this thing about the United States being a terrorist organization, funding terrorism, killing innocent people. But there is no argument you will see here. There is no argument. So it's like that's it. That the argument is over, the debate is over, and you'll see Adam say multiple times, "Oh, the debate's over, Dave. You got crushed. The debate's over." In the middle of the debate, I'll say it here. I guess this wasn't quite at the beginning of the debate. I don't remember, but I mean, this debate I've watched at least 3 times. It's like crack to me. I don't know why, but I just love watching retards get kicked. I don't know. It's just something about me. But
Sure, yeah. I'm with you,
no,
bro.
I love watching my friends verbally abuse idiots that insist that they're Nazis for being honest about what's going on in the world. That brings me a whole lot of joy. And when they show up with arguments this bad, it's just too fun to kick. But yeah, it's like, yeah, check the scoreboard. And I mean, this guy will also spend much of his time bringing up an old debate that Dave did with Coleman Hughes like months ago, and that's his evidence. It's like, check the scoreboard on Dave's debate track record, man. It's a running joke that like Dave is the Grim Reaper knocking on the doors of like who's next, and Ben Shapiro keeps running scared. Check the scoreboard. Even if Coleman Hughes bodied Dave Smith and body bagged him or whatever the fuck. Okay, she got one. Let's even just give you that. One out of how many on this topic? Not just this topic of Iran, but Dave's been debating Israel's war since the beginning of the Gaza stuff, and it's been to the point that I've stopped listening to a lot of the debates because it's a lot of the same thing. But this is a new war, new debates, and we got new, fresh opponents from credible sources like the Patrick Bet David show. And I just gotta say, I have liked Patrick Bet David in the past, and clearly he's platformed Dave and been nice to him and gave him a chance to crush Cuomo on live TV. But I had some people. I think that he should be embarrassed by this. I think that he should be completely humiliated by this. And I've had some people try to get pushback and be like, PBD is he has a panel of like people from all different walks of life. He's got leftists and right wingers and whatever. So that he's a great marketer. So he brings in a bunch of like people from all different spheres. And it's like, yes, but then you have this idiot representing your company. And I just like, I've enjoyed his show, and I've thought that some of the panelists, I didn't know any of their names because I didn't care. I've enjoyed his show in the past, but now it's like, why would I listen to that show? He thinks that guy has anything to say that I should be listening to. So no, and there's plenty more where that came from. Do you have any other thoughts, Dave, or should we keep going?
Yeah, bro, that guy is unimpressive as fuck, and it absolutely should weigh on Patrick Bet-David's credibility, because you pose as the guy who just understands business and I built $1 billion. And
Check this out. I got this figured out.
Like, right, you're
I made
that
millions
guy.
of dollars.
I judge people. I judge people on the company they keep. That's the only other face I can recognize from that show. You got that queef hanging out with you and just being your like yes man. Is that what you need? I don't know.
Man, if you're friends and you're talking about current events and you're like, hey friend, come on for a segment and let's hear your thoughts, I would still be like, this is the guy that you're talking to about this stuff or taking seriously at all. Unless you think I'm overreacting, we have barely even scratched the surface of Adam's rage. This is the first clip. This is the one that woke me from my sleep when this one started.
1% of Americans vote for your people, Dave. Why don't you run for something? Why don't you stand for something? You stand for nothing.
Okay, can I respond?
Nothing,
Again, Pierce, this is the level of substance.
No. Here we go. I'm going to tell you a story, Dave, and then you can respond. Because this is where I lost respect for you as a debater. Because I was like, oh, this guy, Dave, he actually knows some stuff. He's doing his thing. And then you showed up on Coleman Hughes' podcast. Pierce, do you know who Coleman Hughes is?
I do. He's been on the show.
I've been on the show with him.
Perfect. That's this guy right here, just in case.
You know, some people might be listening to this thinking, because Dave Smith, usually, the argument against Dave Smith is, you had Nick Fuentes on your podcast, or you went on Dan Bilzerian's podcast, so you're bad. Like, guilt by association is usually what they throw at him, which doesn't work. Now it's like, he's not only bringing this up as evidence, he needs to filibuster enough to take the time to show his phone and show a picture of Coleman Hughes, a guy that both of the people on this panel are familiar with, just said they're familiar with, both said that he was on the show with both of them, but he's like, hold on, let me show you Coleman Hughes, in case you're not familiar with Coleman Hughes. We're like, what? Are you showing that he's a black guy? What are we supposed to take away from this? Like, are the viewers supposed to be like, whoa, see, even a black guy agrees with me on this one. I don't know what the idea was behind showing this phone screen, but it baffles me, and I've watched this clip too many times to not bring it up.
Perfect. That's this guy right here, just in case if the camera doesn't see.
That guy, you know.
I watched this podcast. The point is this: Dave gets out there and he tries to bully people and say that he's so smart. He reads a lot of books. Good for you, Dave. But what happens when you read it to somebody running this?
It's kind of like Donald Trump being like, Thomas Massie, yeah, he went to a big brain rich school and whatnot, but I know a lot of stupid people who went to smart schools. And then literally 15 seconds later, he said, not me, I went to a smart school, so you know I'm big brained. That's what the level of argument we're dealing with here.
Somebody who's way smarter and bullies the bully. I remember growing up in this town of Miami.
Also, as he gives this analogy, can you just pay attention and tell me by the end if you can figure out who the bully even is in this analogy and who the new kid is or what the hell he's even talking about?
Smarter and bullies the bully. I remember growing up in this town of Miami, so there was this kid that used to pick on all the kids that we went to school with. And one day, some new kid showed up, and he goes, oh, yeah, let's go, buddy. Let's do this. And the bully goes, oh, what do you mean? What do you want to do? And he goes, no, yeah, you want to fight everybody? You want to take everybody's lunch? Let's go. And the new kid beat the crap out of the bully. And here's what happened with Dave. He's out there just doing little...
All right. And Corn Pop was a bad dude. He ran with a lot of bad boys. Like, what is that analogy? Because Dave Smith is taking the least popular opinion amongst all these people. That's why he's the one doing the debates, because everybody disagrees with him. But he's the bully out there. And he just needed some big, smart, tough guy, new kid, like Adam, whatever his last name is, to step up and shut him. Like, is that what he's going for? Because I don't think you can say that Dave Smith is the bully when everybody is coming out of the woodwork to try and take shots at him, and he's just knocking them off one by one.
No, dude, I think he's saying that, yes, Dave Smith is a bully debater with your books and all the things that you learned, and you're just coming out here bullying people with it. But someday,
your facts and knowledge, and dumb shit.
One day, somebody's gonna debate your face off because they're. Let me tell you this story.
But
I can't believe
in the story, is he supposed to be the new kid that's tough and smart and steps up to the plate? Is he the
maybe?
Is he presenting himself as this big challenger after all these debates? I would think so, unless it's Coleman Hughes. I don't know.
Maybe it's just like TBD. Like somebody you can meet your debate match one day.
TBD. It's PBD.
Fuck. I can't believe I didn't see that first.
Podcast thing.
Way to go.
Debating, like you said, Ben Shapiro, 19-year-olds, and then all of a sudden, this whole conversation about.
It sounds like he said, "You've been debating Ben Shapiro and 19-year-olds." That's his interpretation of what the start of this conversation was, where Dave Smith said Ben Shapiro is scared to debate me and says that I'm not worth debating, even though he debates 19-year-olds. And this guy's like, you're just debating Ben Shapiro and 19-year-olds. He's not debating either one of those. He's saying Ben Shapiro is Ben Shapiro, and Ben Shapiro is dating 19-year-olds. This guy can't even process the words.
Keep up.
It feels like, and I called him a Timu Rabbi Shmuley in one of these posts, because it feels very similar. And I'll just say, going into this, I did not know that this guy was Jewish. I did not know at all. As it went on, he just sounded more and more like Rabbi Shmuley, and he does. Watch this entire debate on your own and then go watch a Rabbi Shmuley debate against Candace Owens or something. Exact same tactics, exact same flailing, exact same oh, here's a piece of paper that says you're a bad guy on it. So obviously, Candace, stop. Dave, stop. Dave. It's the exact same bullshit. It's like they went to the school of bullshittery together.
Wesley Clark, and I saw him on your podcast about a week ago, Pierce, and this memo, here you go, Dave. Remember this memo from Wesley Clark? That you use to cite everything.
This is adorable.
That you use to cite. Yeah, that is adorable.
Okay. Yeah, it is adorable.
When do I get
that?
Based on some
it
memo.
is.
Well, I'm sorry.
That's adorable, like tough guy adorable. Shut up. He can't even tough guy respond. The act that he's doing is not. Dave says your thing is adorable, and his response is, yeah, that is adorable because you're dumb. It's just so maddening.
I'm not quite sure
Adam, I'm not quite sure what is the point you're making.
The point is this: Dave has zero credibility at this point. Dave has zero credibility.
Well, you don't
at this
really
point.
get to decide
and he
that.
ran
The
into
people,
somebody
the audience gets
that
to decide
completely
that.
bullied. What audience?
Okay.
The four people that show up to your comedy show at the ha ha.
Yeah.
When even the moderator is not even taking a side, is just got it. But what? What the hell are you trying to say? Just land the plane. He's like, hold on. Let me tell you another story. It's what did he think was going to happen going in like this? And this is maddeningly, this is the same recap that we gave to Dave Smith debating loser libertarians you've never heard of. Not that libertarians are losers. Sorry guys, you are. But that's not what I'm saying. The complete guys that nobody outside of the libertarian bubble and their 5 minutes of fame have had any relevance at all. He came with less of an argument than they did. His argument is just, hey, look, remember when you talked to that guy? That guy, he really crushed you. And see, I've got a paper that says memo on it. Take that. Suck it. Even when Dave Smith debated a libertarian recently, you and I were like, why is he wasting his time doing this? But that guy, Zulu, for whatever it's worth, definitely put up a much better argument than this guy. Are the elite class influencers dumber than libertarians now? I know they were always dumber in philosophy or whatever, but are they worse at marketing now? Or what was this guy's plan?
Well, one thing's clear, bro. This guy Barry Weissed himself. He Barry Weissed the shit out of himself. That's you would have never known. I wouldn't have anyway. He wasn't even on my radar enough. Like I said, I've just seen him kind of make some kind of response on that show that I don't even really watch a whole lot. So yeah. I would have never known that this guy was a fucking retard had he not been so boisterous on this show. But that's what happens as soon as they're pressure tested just a tad. Like when Barry Weiss went on Joe Rogan and fucking the whole fucking toady thing.
Yep.
And now she's running CBS News because, of course. But yeah, that's so funny, dude. Like I'm kind of shocked, and I'm curious if Piers sicked Dave on him. Like I'm wondering if like he booked him, but he also booked Dave like for the show, and then like the producers come in your ear and be like, "Okay, this next segment you're going to be on with Dave Smith."
You think that he didn't have a heads
No,
up?
You know what? He had no. You know what? He had the.
I mean,
fucking
he
prop.
did share it after the
you're
podcast
right.
came out. He shared it and said, "I just debated like the least funny comedian of all time." It's like, and you got your ass handed to you, man.
No, yeah, he definitely did it on purpose. That was so, but that's in line with how stupid he has seemed so far in this interview, which is like just so unimpressive.
Yep, it gets worse. Here's some more. This one, which one is this? Let me see. This one, this one, amazing, absolutely amazing. He not only did he come with he didn't come with no debate strategy. I should be clear. He came with "You've never been." He actually decided to revive because nostalgia is so hot these days, and that went so well for what's his nuts back in the day. He revived "You've Never Been." Here's that
response.
Yeah, and why? And listen, I do respect the fact that Dave does show up.
He does.
I mean, that's like, okay, cool, you showed up. Respect to that. I will give Dave credit, but Dave, and this is why I'm going to keep going back to this, to pretend that it was an even match, an even debate. He put you in a body bag, and you're out here still doubling down on all your positions when he went methodically and surgically.
This is the saddest thing. I've never been in a debate where someone just fell back to someone else's debate. Boom, boom, boom. Name one of the booms. Make the point for yourself. Me and you are supposed to be debating here, brother.
The memo from Wesley Clark. The memo from Wesley Clark. Your whole foundation for your Israel. So listen up, little guy. So your whole foundation for Israel dragging America into war was that this memo from Wesley Clark showed up, and that's the reason that America got suckered into the Iraq war, because Israel convinced him to do it. And he went and surgically and methodically and very calmly was like, "Dave, you don't know what you're talking about. Your entire foundation crumbled." And
so his strategy is to be like, "You know how Coleman Hughes was so great and he was so calm, and boom, 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 he took you out, Dave."
Do you remember that time when he was like, and you were like, ah?
Literally. I mean, my understanding of this is my best recap of Adam's strategy is he went in there like, "Hey, Dave, you remember that one and only time you debated a guy and we didn't have to wonder if he was on suicide watch after? Yeah. How's that make you feel, you son of a bitch?" Like, that's it. That's all he's got. Boom, boom, boom. Coleman Hughes defeated you. And as Dave Smith points out, and Piers Morgan is about to, yeah, sure. Like, let's just give you that. Dave Smith got bodied in that debate. That seemed to be what I saw. I didn't watch the whole 3 hours. Seemed like a pretty calm discussion where they disagreed on some things, and certainly not anybody bodying anybody. Even if you could say somebody lost, even if you could say Dave lost, nobody was in a body bag after that. But that's all he had, literally all he had.
Okay, so let's make, can I respond?
Or you're drinking your nicotine.
Can I respond to this?
So, but the point is this. Your Holland's Opus, this 3-hour debate with Coleman Hughes, it wasn't close, Dave. And that's fine. You want to sort of be a revisionist.
That's your opinion.
And say, you know what?
I'm not being revisionist.
We went point for point. No, Dave, that was any person with logic, because you didn't have a response.
Adam,
your only response was,
this is so ridiculous, dude.
Adam, it is an unusual position to spend.
It's not ridiculous.
Adam, it's an unusual position that I've had you guys
because
on.
that
I've
was the
had you guys
aha
on
moment
to debate,
for me,
and so far
where I said this guy is actually a lightweight.
Adam,
he's actually a lightweight.
Adam,
this is that moment for you, for a lot of people, Adam. So congratulations.
My point to you, Adam, would simply be it's an unusual debating strategy to spend 10 minutes of this debate talking about another debate that most viewers may not have seen.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
pretty ridiculous.
there's other debates that we can bring up. The fact
there's other debates. Yeah, bro, you're in a debate right now. You know that, right? This is the debate. You're supposed to be making your moment right now, not Essen Coleman Hughes' D or other debate. We can talk about other ones. He doesn't bring any up because there aren't any.
There's other debates that we can bring up. The fact, Dave, when's the last time you were in the Middle East?
Oh!
Okay, so this is what you're following.
Dave Smith, for all the things he did right, this is the one thing I think he did wrong. He should have hammered the shit out of him on this, because when that came out, the "you've never been" line was literally trending for like a week, because everybody's like, that's the stupidest argument I've ever heard. And this guy saw that happen, and he was like, yeah, we can talk about other debates. How about, have you ever been, Dave? Like, he just went for it. Have you ever been to the Middle East? And I can't imagine, like, A, going into this debate without any strategy at all, as he seemed to, other than a piece of paper that he wrote memo on, and B, being like, hey, you remember that debate where some people took Murray, what's his first name? Douglas Murray. Some people took Douglas Murray's side in that debate, but as far as the "you've never been" thing, I don't think anybody was like, yeah, that was a good point. He's never been there, so he's not allowed to talk about it. Nobody said that as far as I saw. But he's like, I'm going to take that debate strategy. You want to talk about older debates? I'll take the worst part of that Joe Rogan debate and bring that back to light and call it my own. It's amazing.
Back to now. Yeah, right. No, you know the answer. You're not asking. I've answered it a million times, and you know the I have not been to the Middle East. Go do your best Douglas Murray acting job. Adam, brother, I was prepared to come in here on friendly terms. So you are humiliating yourself right now, dude.
I'm really not.
Humiliating yourself right now.
You've been humiliating yourself for the past 2 years. Basically saying
you are
a terrorist organization, that the IDF is a terrorist organization, and you're whitewashing actual terrorism. What are your thoughts on Islamic terrorism coming into the West? What are your thoughts on the war in the West? What do you think of ISIS? What do you think of the Muslim Brotherhood?
Are you asking me questions?
Go ahead.
It's a huge
I'm asking you a
risk.
question.
And it's a huge risk, especially right now after we just murdered an Ayatollah and his whole family.
What's a huge risk?
Blowback terrorism is a huge problem, and having not secure borders is a nightmare of a policy. I'm very concerned about terrorism.
Blowback terrorism. Do you see what's going on in the West? Do you see what's going on where Piers Morgan lives in London? Do you see what's going on all over the world?
I've been an advocate of strict immigration controls for many years.
By the way,
you're just making stuff up because you have nothing, dude.
So, yeah. You've never been...
Bringing it back.
Yep. That's what we've got. And what was that last part? Hold on.
Murdered an Ayatollah in his whole...
In the West. Winging yourself for the past 2 years. Basically saying that America is a terrorist organization, that the IDF is a terrorist organization, and you're whitewashing actual terrorism.
You're a terrorist. You're a Nazi. You're a racist. You're whatever. Like, it's just so pathetic. And again, not to beat what should be a dead horse, but Patrick Bet David, what are you doing, man? You should have never allowed this to happen. At least not without a briefing. At least not without a, hey, what's your strategy going in there? How are you gonna debate this guy? Because you're representing valuetainment here. You understand that, right? You understand that this is a big organization. Oh, I've got this piece of paper, and you saw the Coleman Hughes debate, right? I should be set. If worse comes to worse, I'll say, have you ever been? And yeah, there is another segment here where it goes on. Piers Morgan calls him out, and because he's like, you know what's happening, you know what's going on in where Pierce lives, and Pierce is like, have you ever been to where I live, sir? Which I thought was brilliant, but here's a bit of that.
There's other debates that we can bring up. The fact, Dave, when's the last time you were in the Middle East?
Okay, so this is what you're falling back to now? Yeah, right. No, you know the answer. You're not asking. I've answered it a million times, and you know the... I have not been to the Middle East. Go do your best Douglas Murray acting job. Adam, brother, I was prepared to come in here on friendly terms. So you are humiliating yourself right now, dude.
I'm really not.
You're humiliating yourself right now.
You've been humiliating yourself for the past 2 years, basically saying that America is a terrorist organization, that the IDF is a terrorist organization, and you're whitewashing actual terrorism. What are your thoughts on Islamic terrorism coming into the West? What are your thoughts on the war in the West? What do you think?
It's like you've been saying that the United States is a terrorist organization. Yes. Next question. You've been whitewashing other terrorism. Nope. And that's the thing that I wanted to mention. At the end of that last clip, where Dave Smith is talking about blowback, which is something that Ron Paul, ironically enough, got a lot of flack for saying about 9/11. Famously, that there could be blowback to 9/11 if we attack them over here or over there. If we start bombing people that had nothing to do with it, there could be blowback and could create terrorism. And that's worth a minute on, because Adam is like, no, I'm not talking about blowback terrorism. That's not the kind of terrorism I meant. Like, not the terrorism that is obviously more likely to come than just the terrorism that we all see in our day-to-day lives. We all see what's going on around here, right? You look out your window and there's Muslims blowing up your neighbor's house left and right. We all know that. Like, it's the exact same fucking strategy that was going on back in the Ron Paul days when I was getting the sticker and all that I knew was this guy was making more sense than anybody else. Sure, radical Muslims blow things up sometimes. Radical Jews, radical Christians, radical everybody. Radical people in general tend to get a little bit radical. And that's a very broad term, and it can mean a lot of things. Just because Dave Smith and Ron Paul are radical libertarians, show me all the radical libertarian violence that's come out of their radicalism. Because that's one thing that Adam, I don't know if it's in any of these clips, but Adam's like, oh, you're a radical libertarian, right? You said that? Dave Smith's like, yeah. He's like, well, we know what radicalism causes extremism. I don't know. There are crazy people in every sect of life. There are crazy people in every religion that will do crazy things. And that's not an argument.
Think of ISIS. What do you think of the Muslim Brotherhood?
Are you asking me questions?
Go ahead.
It's a huge
I'm asking you
risk.
A question.
And it's a huge risk, especially right now after we just murdered an Ayatollah and his whole family.
What's a huge risk?
Blowback terrorism is a huge problem, and having not secure borders is a
nice try. I'm not talking about.
I'm very concerned
I'm not talking about
terrorism.
Blowback terrorism. Do you see what's going on in the West? Do you see what's going on where Piers Morgan lives in London? Do you see what's going on all over the world?
I've been an advocate of strict immigration controls for many years.
By the way,
you're just making stuff up because you have nothing, dude.
By the way,
you have nothing here, man.
You just said that America is a terrorist organization.
Adam, if you brought my country
into it. He's anti-American, and here I am as a proud American saying that he doesn't know what he's talking about.
You said that Dave couldn't talk about the Middle East because he hasn't been there much. When was the last time you were in England?
I spent much time in England. My ex-wife was Welsh.
When was the last
time? She wasn't a sheep shagger.
When was the last time?
The last time I was in Europe, in England, in the Middle East. Where would you like me to go?
No, England.
Hold on, before he answers, I forgot the question mid-drink that he's asked, when was the last time you were to England? When was the last time you've ever been? And he's like, hold on, let me take a sip. The last time what? What are we talking about? Oh, the last time where? Who? What? That thing I said.
The last time I was in England was about 8 years ago.
Right. So this idea, let me tell you.
The last time I was in Israel.
Let me tell you.
The last time I was in Israel.
This idea
was 3 years ago.
Adam,
there is a weird
Pierce,
idea.
do we have to put this episode out? I like Adam.
There is a weird idea. There are many people on the...
Dave Smith pleading for Adam's sake that Pierce not put the episode out, even though Dave knows it's going to result in podcast episodes like this, obviously, where everybody's just... again, it's not even though the title of this is Dave Smith is a murderer or whatever. It's not. Again, I feel like Adam could have just showed up with a mirror and fought with it just as hard and had the same lack of arguments and still lost just as hard in an argument with himself. Do you have any thoughts so far, Dave?
I mean, not many more to add to the conversation. I'm just, I'm impressed with how unimpressive this guy is. You've gotten this far in life, so that in and of itself is very suspect of not just him, but Patrick Bet David. You're on a huge, who did you? What kind of tapes they got on you, bro? Who's blackmailing you?
Right.
Did you want? I think, bro, though, he comes across like he wanted to go do this show. He seems confidently stupid.
He had it in the bag. As far as his body language reads, like I would imagine he still thinks that he crushed it because he's a crazy person. But the audience will decide, as Dave Smith said. And there's another point I don't think we'll get to. We might, but there's another point where he says something like Dave Smith is just sitting there in a hoodie, sitting there in their sweatshirt like a 17-year-old in his mom's basement. And Dave Smith's like, dude, I've got a wife and 2 kids. Like, who are your dependents? And he's like, I've got a significant other. And it's just like the dude's he can't even defend his own life. If he were attacked by himself in the mirror, he'd be like, what are you doing with your life? Do you have a wife and kids? Do you have anybody depending on you? And he'd be like, no, I don't. And then he would shut him down just as easily. Because the arguments he's using against Dave's just throwing back in his face. And he's like, yeah, shit. Let's watch a little bit more, then we'll move on.
Not going to a country?
Adam, many people on the conservative right in America seem to be under the illusion that my country has been taken over by radical Muslims. Let me tell you, I have lived here on and off for the last 8 years, unlike you, and respectfully, we have not been taken over by radical Muslims. It just hasn't happened the way it's being sold by people like Tommy Robinson to Americans, and you're all lapping it up.
How would you define it then, Piers? Piers?
I think we have a Muslim population which is predominantly peaceful and inclusive and settled well. And we have some radical members of radical Muslims, as we have radical members of other religions in this country, and we have to be very wary about it.
What other members of radical religions?
And we have had severe immigration control issues run by successive Conservative and Labour governments who frankly lost control of our border, both to illegal immigration, but also allowed way too many people in legally. And these are proper, legitimate things to be discussed. But framing it, as some people like to do, as my country's been overrun and overtaken by radical Muslims, is just a lie. It's just not true. So yes, there are things to be concerned about. And yes, I want to see everyone who comes here assimilate, and everyone who lives here assimilate into our culture. Of course I do. But this idea that we've been overrun and overtaken is nonsense.
Yeah. Piers, can I just make one?
All right, that's fine. That's probably enough. I guess we should take it from the person who's been to the region and has not only been to the region, but has lived in the region. And sure, again, there are crazy people in every religion and in every sect that do crazy things. But it is very obvious what's happening here. And it's just, we're just rebooting the whole brown people are terrorists bullshit that happened right after 9/11 for the next 10 years and then started dying off a little bit now. It's just especially while they're like, you can't be an anti-Semite, that's not possible, you can't possibly think that way, or you'll be, as we'll see in a minute, you'll be imprisoned possibly if you think that way. But it is promoted to be an Islamophobe. You should be afraid of Islamists, you should be afraid of Muslims. That is not only completely acceptable, it is encouraged that you hate and fear a set of people for their ethnicity or religion. Am I missing something, Dave?
I don't know if you're missing anything. I just wanted to point out he didn't fake super chat it, but I want to shout out to Joden80 in the chat who just said Adam is PBD's Mossad handler. I just got to say, bro, you're probably onto something. I mean, out of all the
I feel like Mossad could do better than this, right?
Bro, they're not sending their best.
I guess Josh Hammer didn't do any better than this, or he did a little bit better, but, you know.
He got this far. But, yeah, just wanted to point that out.
Yep. Yeah, and we don't have super chats, again, because we are not monetized, because we're not allowed to be. So if you have something that you would like us to read, put in all caps fake super chats, any thoughts that you have that you think are worth reading, and we will read them if we have time. We probably won't. And if we do, I'll make fun of you if your comment sucks. But Let's talk about one or two more things out of that. Do you have any final thoughts on this miserable excuse of a debate that Adam, whatever the fuck, that put on here?
No, man. Enough said. Hilarious. Another hilarious Dave Smith debate. I like the ones where he really, where they have some substance, but these ones where just people embarrass themselves are special too.
I mean, that's the level of argument that you're getting from a lot of people. I mean, some people can articulate their bullshit a little bit better than that, but the argument is still the same. How dare you disagree with what the regime is currently saying? That regime that we probably disagreed with, 2 years ago. How dare you disagree with them? You're not a part of them. You're not a part of us that just got over here. You're not a part of us anymore. And all they have is, how dare you? How dare you? Why did you say that? That's not nice.
I will say one more thing about that. Whether this guy's an Israeli handler or not, the things that breed terrorism and mass immigration, especially if you're in Europe for religions that you don't find palatable or whatever, they are all the result of wars in the Middle East. What are we fighting the wars in the Middle East for? Who's on Patrick Bet David coming on here to smash Dave Smith? Why does Ben Shapiro care so much about what Dave Smith has to say? Why is Tucker Carlson getting disavowed by the president? This is bullshit. Everybody knows the fuck why. Yep. Sorry for yelling, but this is all bullshit. Continue.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so apparent, dude. They're just that's all they have. They're trying to attack Dave's character because he's a conduit for, and again, man, to tie it back to Ron Paul, they're telling the truth. Thomas Massie him an anti-Semite too. Yeah. Yes. These are
Ben Shapiro in particular.
Right. Anybody who's telling the truth is a terrible, terrible anti-Semite and other terrible things. But wild, man, that Ron Paul was there to inspire people to be brave and tell the truth.
Yeah.
And you can do it in the political arena or on TV, entertainment shit like this that Dave's doing with books like Scott Horton, dude. Scott Horton is on a whole other level. That I never thought that it's really beautiful, dude.
As he should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and speaking of the anti-Semitic stuff, there's just they pretend like there's this trend, this crazy wave of anti-Semitism that's going through our country, and it's based on nothing at all. While Epstein's like, yes, I'm Jewish, and that's why I'm sexually overactive and in other things, talking about how he's elite and Jewish and everything. And then we've got the wars that we are going to for Israel. This doesn't have anything to do with anything but the people that are currently in power that are probably eating babies, that are bombing babies if they're not eating them. That's it. And anybody who's supporting that, I have a problem with. Completely unrelated, Rabbi Shmuley is starting a new podcast, and I mentioned his name in reference to Adam. So just you tell me, based on his own promo here, that is 8.5 minutes long. We're definitely not watching all of it. Pay attention to what the most important things are that he's going to be focusing on this podcast, and pay attention to his body language and the way he talks as it relates to Adam.
Hi everyone, welcome to our relaunch of the Shmuley Show. You can see that this studio is many grades above anything we've used before, because it has to be, because the need to respond to the tsunami of anti-Semitism or racism or bigotry or hatred, the assaults on the state of Israel, has to be very professional right now, because the adversaries that we are confronting
gotta be pro, baby,
have become so hell-bent on our freaking destruction that they're going to learn we're going to fight back. Now,
you need my face in 4K, nigga.
I like how he's talking about how it needs this message needs professionalism, and then he's filming this, putting out this video of crappy handheld footage behind the scenes. Yeah, he's got a pretty decent setup, I'm not going to lie, but he's just it needs to be professional. Now I'm going to rant for 8.5 minutes about anti-Semitism.
One of them is at war right now. They're the real heroes. But there's two kinds of war. There's the war on the ground that's going to stop a second Holocaust. And then there's the propaganda war that's going to stop the ideology that leads to a Holocaust. If you didn't...
There's the war on the ground that is going to stop a Holocaust. And then there's the war of the ideology that we have that is going to stop, I don't know, a mental Holocaust. That's our big focus. The two big Holocausts are, we need to bomb Iran so that we can stop a Holocaust that nobody saw coming. Literally, nobody saw coming. Everybody, they not only didn't see it coming, but Tulsi Gabbard said, the whatever she is, I don't know. She said that they weren't even close to having the weapons that they were supposed to have had a year ago, almost a year ago. We need to stop that war because that war is obviously, as we can all see, leading to a Holocaust. We also need to stop this rampant anti-Semitism, thinking that war shouldn't happen. We need to stop that because that's leading to an actual Holocaust. That's where we're at on the big important news that Rabbi Shmuley needs to give us.
Have Joseph Goebbels, Hitler's brilliant propaganda chief, conditioning and dehumanizing the Germans.
He called him brilliant, not me.
See Jews as subhuman, then the Holocaust could never have happened. We are now living in a time where Goebbels could never have dreamed of the kind of facilities that would have been available to him to defame the Jews on a daily basis. And we don't have one Goebbels. We've got Tucker Carlson Goebbels. We've got Candace Owens Goebbels. We've got Nick Fuentes Goebbels. We've got Dan No Balzerian Goebbels. We've got Andrew Tate Goebbels. We've got and all the Goebbels wannabes who see that anti-Semitism is the quickest route to clicks and tens of millions of dollars on YouTube, like Megyn Kelly. Do I believe that Megyn Kelly is an anti-Semite? No, she's worse. She's a prostitute for clicks and likes, and will say whatever it takes. So we have got to rise to the occasion, and that's what I plan to do. And I want to offer special thanks to some of my very dear friends who are part of this entire new
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Whatever. He's going to stop the anti-Semitism by calling everybody an anti-Semite on his podcast. That's his goal. His mission is to stop anti-Semitism. It's rampant and it's completely senseless. He's going to do that by starting the Jewiest podcast you've ever seen and be like, you're an anti-Semite, you're a Nazi, you're a Nazi, you're a Nazi. Like, that's going to do it. That's going to do it. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I don't necessarily see the value in podcasting anymore because it's just gotten so stupid. And it didn't even make the connection that Rabbi Shmuley is now starting a podcast, which all the more makes me think that it half makes me think that I should continue and just do episodes commentary on Rabbi Shmuley's podcast. But it also makes me think that if Rabbi Shmuley is starting this podcast, then yes, indeed, podcasting is dead. And we should all find other sources of information spreading and gathering. Any thoughts, Dave?
On the podcast or Shmuley or what?
I don't know. Anything.
I just, it's funny, man. Of course, he's angry at those people for telling the truth. And it's always the inversion, too. Anti-Semitism is on the rise. As you lead your terrible campaigns of death and propaganda and censorship and all the terrible things. Mm-hmm. Anti-Semitism is on the rise. You can keep calling it that. But the market doesn't lie. If you're saying that Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly are getting rich because they're spewing anti-Semitism, what you're really saying is these people are telling the truth, and the vast majority of people that consume this content want to hear the truth. So they have huge audiences, not fringe audiences. Huge fucking. So is all of America just one big pile of anti-Semitism, or what's your big case here, bud?
Yeah, let's take it from Erica Kirk in her case. We're gonna burn through these last two things and get out of here because this is a true story. Last night I had a dream. This is very Candace Owens of me. Last night I had a dream. I don't know what it was or anything that was going on, but I distinctly heard Roseanne Barr's voice talking to somebody. I think I was probably listening to a podcast or something, and Roseanne was talking to somebody about podcasting, and they were like, yeah, it can't be 2 hours. It's got to be cut down to an hour. And she's like, no, people like listening to an hour and a half. An hour and a half is fine. She said an hour and a half is fine. I don't know why that came to me in a dream, but it did. So I'm trying to keep it to an hour and a half. We're going to get out of here very soon. Here is Erica Kirk's second best acting job, where she cried just as hard for Israel as she did for her husband dying.
Charlie always would say very clearly, Jew hate was brain rot. He would always say it. We've been to Israel twice together. And to be able to walk in the place where our Lord walked and see the Bible come to life in Technicolor.
Oh my God.
How could you hate that place? How could you hate the Jewish people? Hate is...
No, nobody's saying that, bitch.
Shut up, bitch.
It's so pathetic. And after we saw the onslaught of Charlie Kirk saying, yeah, I've got a problem with the way this Jewish lobby is handling me behind the scenes, or I have a problem with, he said, if these texts are accurate, he said, I don't like the way the Jews do this every time I post or whatever. And that I'm going to have to step back from the Israel cause, or him pleading to Benjamin Netanyahu, please give me a better case for how I can possibly support this asinine bullshit. And that was an entire war ago. And now we've got Erica Kirk, grieving widow here, very much grieving, saying, man, it's anti-Semitism is the problem here. It's not that thing that my husband was complaining about before he died. He always said that Jewish hatred is brain rot. Okay.
How could you hate the
pathetic.
Holy Land where our Lord was from?
The
Shut up,
colors.
bitch! Oh my God! How retarded do you have to be to not go? I don't know, man. That's pretty bad. Like, there are people still out there like, how dare you?
Right.
She's got
if you don't support Israel, then you don't support Trump. And if you don't support Trump, then you don't support me. And if you don't support me, you don't support America. You're a Nazi. Like, that's what we're dealing with. And it's, again, the exact same as what was rampant even before the internet was so prevalent during the 9/11 era and all that shit. Just get on board. Or, like, you're either with us or you're against us. You're either with us or you're for the terrorists. That's where we're at. You're either with us or you're an anti-Semite. And here is the last clip in Wisconsin where I guess a guy got arrested for a meme. Let's find out.
I'll give you this by way of example. Some pond scum felt empowered and emboldened enough to put this picture of me up to try to threaten and intimidate me, which, of course,
it's not even a good
you didn't
meme.
do because I signed up.
Like, it's the worst, most boomery slop together meme I've ever seen. And it's like, can you believe that he took a Star of Remphan and put it on my forehead and gave me curls? This is unacceptable. Right. This is law enforcement on this meme.
For this. And by the way, the person that did this said a bunch of terrible things, not just against me, but against a lot of groups and individuals, who, by the way, was arrested today in Wisconsin. My point is this, though. If this person is emboldened and empowered enough or feels safe enough to do this for me, what does he do to a kid? What does he do to a Jewish family walking down the street?
What does that mean? What did he do to you exactly? If he would dare slap a crappy clip art of me with a star on my forehead up, what is he capable of in society? What is he going to do to a Jewish family walking down the... Is he gonna meme the poor Jewish family walking down the street too? We can't be too careful. Any thoughts, Steve? Oh, he got arrested, by the way. He got arrested. Here, I'll just play the rest of it.
And that's because of the normalization of this. Watching this on television and saying, okay, I feel empowered enough that I can do this. Well, A, you can't. And B,
yes, you can.
If you think you can do it to somebody that's in law enforcement, again, what are you going to do in an alley or in a street to a Jewish family or a kid walking down the street? We say no. We're drawing the line.
I got
I'm gonna
cornered.
meme them too, motherfucker.
I got cornered in an alleyway and got memed to death. Oh God! Get your memes away from me. Hold up my phone like Adam and be like, "You see this meme?" No, there's nothing. That's how Batman, the Jewish version, started. I killed his family by showing them a meme in an alleyway.
I don't usually ask for a follow-up, but I'm going to need a follow-up on this one because I feel like the guy who got arrested has a slam dunk winner case. Unless
better than Afro Man, which we should have talked about, but go on.
Right. Exactly. I mean, you don't need precedent, but like, yeah, you could cite that just happened.
Mm-hmm.
You get to say stuff and make stuff. There was that guy who got arrested for the Hillary memes in 2016. I think he went to jail, bro. I can't remember what happened to him, but like,
I mean, that was a better case against him than this is, because that was like it was something like, right, if you click here, your vote counts or something like that, and it didn't, so it was kind of
some fraud
fraudulent
involved. Yeah. This is just him. It's not even art. Like he literally
it's not even good. It's like
I've
half
seen worse
asleep. He woke
that,
up and he's like, slap it on there, put it out, whatever. And then he gets a knock on his door the next day. Are you fucking kidding me?
The thumbnail for this episode is worse than that. So, yeah, it'll be okay.
But be careful out there. Jews and non-Jews alike. Just anybody, be careful in those dark alleyways. You might get memed even harder. If they'll do that to law enforcement, like this poor sheriff, if they'll meme him, just imagine what they'll do to you. They might even, I don't know, make an AI diss track about you or something. I don't know, just hypothetically. But the times are getting stupid, and we'll come on here every once in a while to remind you just how stupid it is, but it doesn't need a constant update. You see it all the time. You don't need me reminding you, hey, everything's stupid. But, when we feel that we've got something to say, we'll be around. And in the meantime, we'll be saying things in other ways, in other places, and getting the signal out as we do. But, Dave, any final thoughts, or where can people find you, or anything you got working on? You got going on?
Yeah, man, I'm working on my upcoming nuptials. That's my biggest focus these days, and doing that Liberty shit during the day, man. Yeah. Everything is going great, and like I said, man, we won't go into it again, but I'm very proud of you. I think you're making the right move, and just letting them. I knew it was coming, bro. I know your buttons. You think I don't know your fucking buttons? You know where that one is. You don't know where the goddamn confetti is. Learn that. How about that?
Yeah.
It's too late, because now that you quit the show and everything, you don't ever. You're right. No, dude. I know. You can come back whenever you want. You can let me know the morning of when you want to do.
I will.
And I will be there because I love you and I love the show. And you give me the fish when I need it and whatever else. And yeah, man, go get
I couldn't
them.
find the confetti. I thought this was a close second.
Go hold up our champions in the light that they deserve to be seen in.
Amen. And I would recommend everybody else do the same. Use whatever talent you've been blessed with to do the same. Speaking of which, here's a couple of my wife's latest flart creations. This is Hillary Clinton. It says Epstein.
Did you say flart? Did you say flart?
It's felt art. You weren't on the show when we talked about this first time. This one says Epstein totally killed himself, and it has Hillary Clinton with horns and a pentagram on her face. What else we got? We've got this pink guillotine here. And then we've got some hang'ems. 2028 hang'em. If anybody wants to decorate their household with some beautiful flarts, please slide into my DMs or email me. I think my email is down for the show. Dan@goulashmedia.net. Just do that one. And then finally, we've got the great Thomas Massie there. If you would like to flart up your house with some beautiful flarts, hit me up and we'll get you to them. We'll get you those. But that to say, if you have a unique thing that you were created to do it, and do it honestly and truthfully, and put it out there into the world. And listen to the show. We'll be back we'll see you when we see you. Until then, follow me at thesystemsdown.tv, Dissident Media, and wherever the System is Downs or Dan Smotz's are sold. Until then, question everything, stand comfortable, be bad, have fun, and live long and prosper or something. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Smash all the like and subscribe buttons because that's what we say at the end of videos. Good night, everybody.
This concludes our broadcast day.